The next Space Marine 2 map is rumored to be a close quarters map, so I think now is a very apt time to talk about the Melta Rifle, and I think everyone should use this. Everyone should learn to use this because it will make you good at the game, and that's because the weapon has no versatility, unlike every other Space Marine 2 weapon pretty much. This weapon is only good at close range, and most of the fighting is done at medium to long range in this game, so if you learn how to use this, that means you learn positioning, map control, how to use cover, your equipment, etc., and you can apply those lessons to everything else and be very effective at the game. So when you're using the Melta Rifle, really, cover is key. You need to stay indoors, you need to stay inside around places where there are cover, corners you could peek, run around, etc. And you also need to be aware of who you're fighting against or who you're about to attack and what the matchup is, because that will change how you approach the situation. You also must have shock grenades on this class. Shock grenades are kind of OP. They're good on every class. They're kind of free. But shock grenades are a must on this class because they obviously slow people down and you're trying to close distance. And as well, they blind people, which can be really good if you're up close and things go wrong. You can literally throw a shock grenade at your feet. It doesn't do any damage to yourself, and it's a get out of jail free card. And I generally think multi-Melta is better, but the big advantage you have with the Melta Rifle on tactical is you have 2 of these shock grenades, as well as being a little bit more mobile, a little better melee, which we'll get into. So again, back to the grenades, make sure you're always topped up on grenades. That's the big thing you have with being a tactical is 2 grenades, and this will let you stretch yourself much further than you could as a heavy. You can really go behind enemy territories, take some risks, and you have 2 shock grenades to get out of trouble if need be, something a heavy does not have. And again, you need to understand the map. You need to understand where the enemy team is, where they're fighting, and where you can go that has ample cover that will disrupt them. So if they're on their way to an objective, you usually don't want to be lurking at the objective itself, but maybe you could cut them off on their way from spawn to the objective, etc., and set up an ambush. And if you do it effectively, you could have most of the team on respawn for most of the game. And that same philosophy is pretty much how you play Space Marine 2. You just have to adapt it to your weapon and its range and how you should use cover with it. Now I'd like to talk about optimizing how you use the Melta Rifle. So this has a much lower rate of fire than the multi-Melta, but the tactical is a much better melee. So you should pretty much always be shooting, melee, and then shooting, and that perfectly fills the pause between shots with more damage output. You also get shield back if you land a melee attack. So that's an optimal way to use it. And then obviously you saw there I was being pressed by a Thunderhammer. So instead of meleeing, I would shoot, block, then shoot, and that's a good way to take care of heavies, bulwarks, etc. Now, there are certain situations where you don't want to melee, mainly if you're being shot at by multiple people or something. Meleeing makes you stand in place and makes you a very easy target, so definitely take the lower damage output in exchange for more mobility to sort of get away. Or you can shoot, shock grenade the ground, shock grenade someone, and then shoot. That's another viable thing, which I did in one of these clips. So to summarize, the Melta Rifle will teach you about map control, using cover, and assessing matchups between enemy classes. Those are fundamentals that will make you good with any weapon, any setup, and will make you a good player in the game. And that's why you have to use the Melta Rifle and learn to get good with it. It'll pay off in dividends.